Welcome back and thank you for staying with eNCA. Now, a gruesome find for those tasked with rebuilding the Tembisa Plaza. Human remains have reportedly been discovered on site. The plaza was destroyed by fire during the 2021 July unrest that swept across KZN and Gauteng. Some families have long maintained that their loved ones' remains may still be trapped in the rubble. Now, eNCA reporter Heidi Giokos is tracking these developments. Let's cross live to her to get the latest. Heidi, what's the situation there like currently? What happened for people to report such a gruesome discovery?
Yes, I think this dates back all the way to 2021 when the July unrest took place, and it seems as though some people had decided to either come to this particular Tembisa Plaza shopping centre, whether they were looting or just shopping or in the area. We're not exactly sure of those details. But about 13 family members did not return home, those staying in and around the Tembisa area. We do know that some family members were able to get their loved ones' remains from this Tembisa Plaza, because we do know that there was a gas cylinder that exploded in the ShopRite shop during that July unrest on the one particular day, and people were trapped inside that ShopRite and were unable to get out. So according to what we are hearing from family members and witnesses, it seems as though it's 13 people that were trapped inside, and we do know that some of them were able to get their loved ones out and bury them. But the tragedy in all of this is that you do have some family members that are saying their loved ones are unaccounted for, they are still missing, and they do believe that some of them are inside. Their remains remain inside, specifically the ShopRite, because that's where the gas cylinder exploded. We covered this story last year in July, where we got a chance to speak to one family member who told us that her mother is definitely inside there, and all they want is closure. We've reached out to SAPS in the province. They've indicated to us that this is moved over to national communication. We have contacted national police to get a response as to what exactly is going on. But the developments here, and the reason why this has been brought back into the spotlight, is because perhaps construction was meant to start, and they're realizing the seriousness of the damage caused by the fire here at the Tembisa Plaza, and they came across some remains, and they are unable to move before they get forensics in, and family members are waiting outside to hear whether or not it's their loved ones and what the next move will be.
Lost a loved one and is still not aware of his whereabouts. What did he say?
Yes, truly a tragic story. We got a chance to speak to one man who told us that he believes his wife might be inside there. His wife remains might be inside there. The family is unable to have any kind of burial because they don't know what's going on. They have no remains to take back to Limpopo. The tragedy in all of this is it's 4 children, a set of twins, and the twins keep asking the father where the mother is, and he has no answers, no explanation. And it's really a difficult time, Aseko, because when one doesn't have closure, how do you move on? How do you, deal with the grieving process? Because you don't know what's happened to your loved one. You don't know whether or not they are inside, trapped, their remains are trapped inside the Tembisa Plaza, or what exactly has happened. We got a chance to speak to him earlier. Let's listen to what he told us.
Because utswile fela ara mama ke a boya ha isa laile ha ke tsebe ke tla roka manaka ha ke tsebe o etsa itseng ka yena ona bana, because re mmatlile hohle, re mmatlile di mushare, re mmatlile di ko di tronkong ke a tswa di petlele ke ha ona mo ke sa yang teng, but ha ke mothole. So nka se bua hore maybe ona a le wona ko no luthiwa teng, because ha ke tsebe hore o etsa itseng that day, ha ke tsebe till today, ha ke tsebe.
And Heidi, it's over a year since the July unrest, and with these families, I mean, you mentioned 13 families or 13 people believed to have not been found since then. It's over a year. Have you been able to get any explanation from authorities involved why it's taken so long to try and remove the rubble at that ShopRite or in that mall to see if they can find anybody?
But that's the big question here, Maseko, is why has it taken authorities almost a year and a half later to intervene? It's because of the media and because of the attention that the story has gotten over the last couple of months that it seems as though police are trying to get access into there. What we have been told is that the structural damage is of a high risk. So when police or forensics move into that particular shop, the ShopRite, there could be a risk of the building actually collapsing. The building burnt really badly, and it's going to be very difficult for them to sift through the actual shop and the scene to try and get to the remains, which is really tragic. But if they are able to say they want to start reconstructing and rebuilding the mall, they were able to notice and identify that there are body remains in that ShopRite. So surely a family should be getting some kind of indication or answers from authorities that why is nothing being done. It's a year and a half later. Families are sitting and are completely heartbroken because they want some kind of understanding as to what happened and possibly get the remains of their loved ones so that they can heal and finally close this chapter. We have tried to engage with SAPS. They've indicated they are waiting for the incident report. We do know that the station commander is inside the Tembisa Plaza. We do know that project managers and those assessing the damage are inside. We are just waiting to see what happens and whether or not forensics will be able to move in and try and get those remains. But I think what's even more devastating is should those remains be retrieved, there's a whole process of DNA that still needs to unfold. And we do know that there's a massive backlog when it comes to DNA in this country.
Yeah, of course, because by now, Heidi, those remains are beyond decomposed. In July this year, it'll be 2 years since the unrest. That was Heidi Giokos live for us in Tembisa outside the Tembisa Plaza.